Hello guys, welcome back on my YouTube channel. I'm back again with another video. So I actually been ignoring it because yeah, sometimes I'm not open to the messages. But gosh, my bunny is funny as fuck. You can tell it's a rush bunny. So I'm just gonna talk about something that I think it's something that I don't think it's something that a lot of us went through, and we all gonna go through it. You know what I understand about life? Life is it's a training. It's a hella, you are being trained. Like you are going through training. As you are going through training, you don't know what. It's not like academically training whereby you're being told, okay, do this, okay, it's gonna be have a multiple choice questions. It's gonna be this and that. You know, you're gonna have essays, which is almost like 20 for 20 marks or 30 marks. No, it's not gonna be like that. Training is everywhere. You know what happened? I had a dream with Angel, with the angel. It was a male angel. He is black, but he had like those, not black hair. He had like he had like oh fuck. He had silky hair. So he woke me up he woke me up. He said, "Wake up, princess." And in that dream I was not in like I was in another planet. I like the way I perceive it, it was more like I was in heaven. So the funny thing, I never like take it serious when people like they describe heaven and whatever, and I was like, oh, that perspective might be wrong or anything, but it exactly like how society describes heaven. But not everything, obviously not everything that they're trying to describe is exactly. So because I didn't see the outside, I just saw like the clouds are actually near, whereby here you be like, oh, the cloud, you're looking at them far. Like when I opened the window, there were actually like clouds. So my bed was actually near. I was sleeping. So I was sleeping and I was not near like where I actually saw this whole thing in the dream. I was I was actually like opening up, or like a window was open, probably like I slept to like, I'm just estimating like probably like eight, and I was like not up yet. So the angel came, like he was like, he had wings, he had like long hair, he had like silky hair. It looked like those black Indian. So he like, wake up, princess. You know what, he wake me up with the arrow. Like a arrow, fucking arrow. It's like, oh gosh, like, do I have a pen here? I have to explain this because most of the things, like, I'm not actually smart. I don't know most of the things that are actually. So I have to rely, like, I know them but not with English. So I had to be okay with that. Like, I'm okay to be spiritual, knowledgeable rather than any other way around, because you can't have it all. Like, you can't. I don't have actually smart. So a lot of things that are actually, I don't know. So he wake me up with something like this. I don't know how they call it. I usually call it arrow. Do you know those things that are actually like that, whereby you throw up an arrow? Never mind my drawing. Whereby you actually grow up an arrow, and this is actually like a rope whereby the arrow, it's a fucking arrow. This is actually an arrow. He woke me up with this. And I remember wake up like, I'm a princess? Like, you know what? I don't know why I find being called princess offensive, because I don't know, like I prefer like a queen, empress, but like he called me a princess. It was like obvious I was not me. I was just looking different than I am in this lifetime, because I mentioned that we live in different planet. We exist in different planet. We don't look the same way that we're actually looking. So he woke me up with this like arrow, like like like, it was piercing my heart. The funny thing is, it did not pierce my heart. It just made a pain, but it did not pierce. It didn't cause blood. It didn't cause anything. And I was like, he said, wake up, princess. And I was like, fuck, training is everywhere, even in heaven. There's no freedom, guys. Like, there's no such a thing that heaven. There's no lesson are everywhere. Lesson are everywhere. Actually, every planet that we're existing on right now, lesson are fucking everywhere. So don't assume that, oh, when I kill myself I'm gonna go through. Yes, heaven. The good thing about heaven, we have wings, guys. Like, we do have wings. That angel have wings. Just that I was sleeping, I didn't realize whether my wings were there or not, because I woke up after that. So this actually video, it's about you are their karma. That's how I've been talking about lesson training, because you are their karma. People, we're all going through training, we're all going through lesson, spiritual lesson, spiritual growth, whatsoever. So you were their karma. I don't know what's wrong with my voice. So as you were their karma, you were their test. The thing is, when you are a people's test, they don't realize they're actually going through a test. Even I, sometimes I don't even realize that I'm going through a test, but now I'm more aware. But at the same time, that test, like, oh fuck, that was actually a test, like, because sometimes God disguised tests. So sometimes you go through tests, you won't even realize there's actually test. So what happened to me with me being a test to people, because I remember one of my ex, like the most ex that I usually talk about, he said to me, he described what a woman he want. I hate when people like, no, I'm just not gonna talk about that. So he described what exactly woman he want. Like, he was describing me like everything except that he didn't see me as that, because I didn't show up as that. Not because I needed to show up as different. Like, in his mind, the way he describes strong people, he believes strong people don't have sensitiveness. Believe people who are actually strong, they don't try. Like, he had like a weirdest perspective of strong, and how society described that you're not supposed to show emotion, blah 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 blah. So he was describing, and I was like, okay. I didn't vocalize it. Oh my god, it was fucking disturbing. No, I just let him figure it out, because I don't believe in trying to. I'm not a object. I'm not gonna market myself. Even like when I was in a dating app, I didn't like the whole fucking shit. Like, I have to stop. This is my job. This is my like. I don't like marketing. I'm a human. Like, I'm a whole soul. I'm too versatile to fight. Like, trying to put myself in what's of that. Maybe that's why I always struggle with interviews. Like, I always find interview trying to stereotype you, trying to make you like lately. So I find it annoying and irritating. So he was distracted, but he didn't realize the person that he actually disturbed, this person that he asked God for, this is who I am. But he didn't see that, because why? He, in his mind, he had like like, the thing is, with we're being told a lot of time that we shouldn't create how the outcome should be. Like, we shouldn't have like trust God. When you say trust God, like, he will put you into situation that you ask for. He will give you things that you ask for. It up to you whether you're gonna take that as a blessing that he giving you, or maybe you're gonna end up with lesson, or maybe whatsoever reason that you might be experienced, because most of the time things will be show up in your face, but you won't be ready for that. So that's why most of the time you're stupid around them. This is another download. That's why most of the time you're beating yourself. Ah, actually, I was not supposed to be stupid. You'll be like, why I was so stupid? Why I was too kind? Look, it's like you're beating yourself up. Like, why I was so kind to these people? Why I was so this and this? God wanted to be like that. The things that you hated the most when you were around those people, God wanted to be like that. That's why when we ended up distancing yourself, you got wisdom. Every time you distance yourself to be the people that you surrounded yourself that were not good for you, you get wisdom. Because why? You letting go. The more you let go, the more you learn, the more you get wisdom. A lot of things that I've learned, a lot of things that I talk about here, a lot of people assume that wisdom is get by walking on smelling flowers, like they assume it's something that you get so easily. That's why most of the time they try to mimic you every time when they're trying to mimic you, and then they realize that, oh, this shit is actually harder than I thought. Whoa, how did they get this wisdom? They don't understand it, how what you went through. It's a pain that caused you to have that wisdom, despite the fact most of the time with download that I get it from God. But I had to pass spiritual test in order for me to receive this wisdom, because I had like choice to to be bitter than to be better. But I'm choosing most of the time to be better. Do I want to be bitter? I'm gonna be bitter when I'm breaking up with you. Obviously, I'll be like, oh, like I will cast the shit out of you. I will go through that. I will judge you. I will do whatsoever. But obviously, I won't do that to your face. Like, I, my healing, it's sacred. My healing, I don't, I don't like, I just, most of the time I'm that person who just disappear when I'm going through some things, or when I'm going through even happy moment. But sometimes I'm like, oh, wow, hey, like I want to protect this shit. Like I prefer privacy, private most of the time whenever I'm maneuvering life. It makes sense to me. So you were their test. That's why you're stupid around them. That's why they view you as a weakling most of the time. Is because why? They have that perspective, or like society's perspective, this is who they are. And the funny thing, they said they want a friend like that. You be like, you will realize most of your ex friends, or your ex girlfriends, or your family member whatsoever, they were describing all all the time what do they want in their life. They were describing you all the time, but they will never compliment you. Instead, they were trying to make like, they didn't want you to be recognized. They didn't want to be seen. They didn't want you to people realize your gift. They didn't want you to have that wisdom coming out on your mouth. Instead, they wanted that wisdom for themselves. They didn't want that wisdom, that advice coming from like, what the fuck? How can the wisdom come out from that weakling? Because most of the time, the chosen one are viewed as a weakling because of their sensitiveness nature, or sensitive spirit. We have a sensitive spirit, so we are viewed as a weakling, because whenever something happened like that, bad, like you end up being emotionally, but for them they believe that you have to be like tough. Like, I don't understand why people assume tough has no sensitivity, because life is about duality. If you don't know how to be versatile, if you don't know how to attend your emotional need, you're gonna suffer, honey. You're gonna suffer, like really suffer, because everything needs you to be versatile. You need to use discernment. That's why a lot of people are struggling with, they will have blessing in their face, and because the blessing when in their face, they're challenging. People assume that blessing are not challenging. I'm telling you, heaven has have training too. It's not easy as you think it is. The good thing is you can teleport, you can have wings in heaven, while here on earth you have to walk until your feet feel some type. But I'm sure you do get tired with using your wings too. So there's actually a training that, even like, I'm telling you that I woke up like, wake up princess. I have like a time. I'm given like a time to do something. I don't like, people assume like, oh, heaven, like, I'm like, I don't know how to explain this, but I'm telling you guys, like, training is everywhere. Discipline is needed everywhere. You don't assume just because, or whatsoever. You need to discipline yourself. Like, that's why when God give you a blessing that you want, you sabotage it because you're not connected with your gut feeling. So discernment is what you actually need in your lifetime. So allow yourself to scan people up, to scan look whatsoever up, because sometimes something can come off as a almost until you realize, oh fuck, it was a trap. So when you're ever using discernment, you're gonna come up on top, because why? You are allowing yourself to feel like, most of the time I always picture myself as someone who's actually blind when I'm making decision. Like, when I'm actually blind right now, do I actually will like what I'm having? Will I be happy with what I have? Will I be whatsoever? Because I know I can wake up blind. I can wake up not looking the way I'm looking right now. I can wake up physically challenged. Like, anything can happen. So yeah, so that's why you are the people's karma. People were so into your ego instead of seeing that you were actually blessed. And that's why most of the time when we like, for example, I didn't realize I used to think like, oh, like most of the spiritual teacher when you're talking about that you were blessing other people's life, and I was like, oh, but most of the time when I'm realizing, I'm looking at it, that's why they get come after like you out in their life. That's why most of the time they are taking you more because they feel like if you make their life you make their life miserable. Because I don't know, there's all up with the children. I mentioned that children one have like they are celebrate. It's just that it's not the same as how society they describe celebrate. That's why you never fit in. Even those children one who were celebrate once until they let go of that like path, they knew. They knew. Like you were the fucking celebrate. It's just that you were not fitting in because you are meant to create trend. You are meant to stand out. You are meant to be an influencer. The thing is with the chosen one, we don't try to trade trend. We're not trying. We're not trying to be the chosen one. People assume that being a chosen one, you're supposed to try, but no. We were born a chosen one. That's why they started attacking you in a young age. They just started having issue with you in a fucking young age. You were so young, don't understand why people are so fucking hateful. Most of the time, it's the people that are around you. You don't have to be outside people like a friendship, but it can be like a whole fucking bunch of family, all adults, busy praying on your parade, like they're doing some weird shit. So you were always a celebrate. It's just that how they start celebrating, it's not like it's not the same. So like I've noticed that a lot of children when who were once a models, they always have something in common that they never fit in there. Not or not not because what, because they were trying to follow trend that was created how models should be. They forget that they actually were trend. They create trend. They are the influence. We don't. I don't go like, oh my god, I wanna be influencer. I no, I don't. Like I don't fucking. I've never in my life even like view myself as an influence. But I've realized part of my soul purpose will allow me to influence people. Not because I'm like, oh, I'm going to influence. No, I'm just gonna speak the truth. I'm just gonna be my authentic self. You're gonna be inspired. That's how I influence you. I most of the time I like my influence is it's slowly like it's slowly like it's not like I'm gonna I'm gonna blow your mind. You're gonna be a big thing, baby. No, I don't do that. I'm just being myself. Me being myself, me being more authentic, it will motivate you to be authentic to yourself. It will motivate you to be whatsoever. But the problem with people who have too much ego, they will try to shut you up. They try to make you feel like there's something bad, there's something's wrong about you because they hate the fact that that influence come from you. They were trying so hard, maybe trying to post a most beautiful Instagram pictures, most whatsoever, and then you just have to come up with your own touchy self, with your style. That most of the time, that I was like, how do I actually? I usually get a lot of compliment with my outfit, but most of the time, my outfit, like I walk in a store, like a lot of people walk in. Probably I will even see them in the same store, and then I will buy my outfit. When I buy my outfit, people will be like, "Wow, your outfit!" Like it would be like I bought my outfit in a different store, but the funny thing, I was in the same store as you. And I was like, how did I actually like, I've noticed most of the children when like guys, you're very like your style, guys, like your style, like your like I just like I'm like, wow. Like it like it feel like it's the first time I'm actually complimenting people with outfit. I've never like compliment people's outfit, like I swear. Yes, I used to inspire by Rihanna's outfit. I'm still inspired by his most of her outfit, but not like that much. Like I would like, okay, I like that, but it was not like wow, all the time. But I'm looking at the children; they have their own style because you get download. Like most of the time, I'll be like, why would I buy this bag? And then I'll be like, buy this bag out of the blue. I'm like, but it's not like, and then I'll drag the bag, and people will be like, wow, where did you get this bag? What? And they'll be like, you'll be so surprised how cheap that bag is. And they'll be like, what? Really? I remember I once had like a 5 rand pen that I bought like in a second hand. People were asking me, some wanted to buy it, and I was like, guys, this is a gift. Like the fact that I had 5 rand and I bought this pen, it was a second hand, it was in like good condition. And I was like, nah, I can't sell it. I knew that this is something that I was actually given, because I changed direction to get that pen. Like I would usually go in the same direction, but that day I was like, no, let me go. Then how, like, most of my outfit, I don't go like, I know that okay, I need a jacket, I need the like a jacket, I need the summer clothes, I need the winter clothes, but I don't just like, oh, this is the clothes I want. This is no, and unless it's legging, because legging it's a must. So I'm just like, okay, this is what I want, this is what I want. But I classify it as winter clothes, summer clothes, whatsoever, or that's it. But I don't know. Sometimes I would come up to clothes of like, it doesn't make sense to buy this one, but it will make sense. And then later on, it will end up matching with most of my outfit. And I'm like, that's how people complain. They can tell that your style is not just any other style. How you allow yourself to trend, despite the fact that you are not trying to be someone else, how you try to influence people without trying. You're not trying to influence people. You're not walking like, oh, I'm just gonna go and try to influence people. You're not doing that. It just happened naturally because you have that authority. You have that power to actually influence people without even, you don't have like, listen to me. Your aura just demand it. Your energy just demand respect. That's why most of the time, like, for this kid, like my brother's son, like, I've never like got a chance to be with him. I don't know why. Like every time when he's singing, he runs away. And I would like, initially I used to like don't understand why, because I was like, I'm not like hatefully or anything whatsoever. And I realized kids can tell. Like kids can tell. I like most of the time kids will be like, they come into me, some will hug my legs out of the blue. Like I'll be in a market and they're hugging my legs, some will be looking at me and they'll like, I ended up like making faces and all that. But like it's not something like I will like, oh, I'm just gonna approach the kid, don't do whatsoever. It just happened naturally. I happen to like, I stare at the kid and we stare at me and we like end up make it fine. Or maybe sometimes like, hey, like let how like my vibe, it just happened. I don't go like, oh, I'm just gonna influence kids. I don't do that. I don't. I know that kids have personality. So that kid, that like it used to bother me because like ever since he started talking, he never like, even right now I would say I don't know whether he will recognize me on the street. I don't know, because I'm not close anymore. So when I was close, I was trying to get close to him, but he every time used to run away, and I was like, I wonder what I've done to you in a past life. Do you know when we have like, what the hell? Most of the time, people used to give me their kids, and they be like, I'm hugging, like I would carry them and go, oh wow, is it now? Is quiet. Like they would some like even kids were like, mother, call me mother, like what? And they like I'll be triggered because why? I don't know. I'm not sure about having kids, you know. So yeah, things like that. They hate that advice come out to you. Come, they hate that the advice, the spiritual guidance come from you, because they label you as a weakling, not a mother. Okay, all of them, they wanted a mother role. The reason why I'm making a role example with the mother role, the thing is, I wouldn't be alive. I wouldn't have existing right now if it wasn't for a mother. Obviously, it needs spends, but I had to be carried out in a mother's womb in order for me, my existence to happen. Despite the fact the relationship is fucked up whatsoever, but I had to be carried out for 9 months. Some it's more like, some get like you can give like you can give birth before 9 months or 7 months whatsoever. So that what happened. You know, you were always a mother in whatever that you were at, whether if you were a father or a mother in a relationship that you've been at, whether it's a romantic relationship, you were at home. You were, that's why your mother, most of you hated you. They felt like you are taking their own place, which is weird, because at the time you were not even aware that you are playing a role of a mother. They all wanted a role of being a mother. That's why they made you believe that you are the weak one. They wish they had that in themselves, but they didn't have that in themselves. So instead, you were their karma. That's why when you end up stop talking to them, you dream a lot about them doing things to you. Because why? They fail to program you to be a weakling that they were trying to make you a weakling. Because they were trying by almost to make you a weakling. That they failed to make you a weakling. Now, when they were making you a weakling, obviously we're talking bad about you behind your back, the other people they were talking about. Now they are scared of the fact people will discover you. That's why you dream of them, that they are taking you more spiritual. They're doing a lot of evil things to you now. Whenever you started distancing yourself from them, when you start, they don't want me to talk like, like, drink water. What I'm saying is, obviously they fucking label you as a weakling because they didn't want you to be found out. They didn't want you to know, people know your gift, who you are, whatsoever. Because obviously they wanted a mother role. They wanted your position. That's why a lot of people are threatened by people who have authority without demanding it. Like I've been watching like this Bollywood movie. It's a London Dreams with Manu and Ajuni. They're actually like friends, and are friends. As they were friends, um, Ajuni got jealous of Manu because Manu didn't demand anything. He just had it in him without demanding it. He just loved music. He view music in a different way than Ajuni. Ajuni have to work hard for everything. He had to work hard for people to like him. Had to work like he didn't. He was chasing and chasing and chasing. While Manu was not chasing anything. People just fuck with his shine. Like they fuck with his aura whatsoever. So I didn't like the fact that God chose Manu to have all that kind of influence, because Manu never like walk like I just want to influence people. No, he just loved music. He just loved himself. He just like he view life in a dark, like animal, a dark, DUCK, like it present like a youthful spirit. It present like a happiness, joy. He had that vibe within himself. Like he just like he is that kind of a person. When you walk in a room and you be like, wow, who's that? Like that kind of a vibe. While Arjun didn't have that, so he was hating the fact that Manu have that kind of authority, demand that people would just walk in and be like in his but at the time he didn't even like. Manu was not the type of person who actually value a lot of things that Arjuni value. They have a different perspective in life, a different values and how they view things. So what made him like being like a chosen, because the chosen one don't demand. They don't care so much about the material things. I think that's why most of the time they ended up have to learn a lesson of what is money, why money is important, why this and this and this and that. Because we don't allow ourselves to care so much about the material world to the point that it has to take away from what we have within. Because we like to be rich within rather than most of the outside. Because we don't know the outside world, it will always collapse. Anything that is outside, it will always collapse, especially if it's created from a weak foundation, a foundation that was not strong enough to hold, a foundation that was fake, foundation that was created through lies. So it will fall apart. They don't want the world to know about your existence, your gift. They feel like your rise would be their downfall. By that time, you're not even viewing that your rise will be you making them slaves. You won't even make them slaves like they're trying to make you a slave. You will just allow them to be themselves. You're happy for them. But they believe that your rise will be our downfall. That's why they are taking you more when you distance yourself from them. Why? They lie about you, your character, to a lot of people. Oh, she's weak. Ah, she's there. She's there. Why? Because they were mimicking your personality to them. They were trying to be you outside while we're acting like you are the weakling in the group. they want you to believe. That's why they program you so young to be a view as a weakling or anything. They want you to hate yourself. They like it when you hate yourself. They like it when you have a low self-esteem, because they gain a lot from that. They will like, I've noticed that I used to compliment a lot of people in my life that were my past people, until I realized that I was complimenting myself in them. I remember, like, I had these two ex friend that I met in university. Like, I had a lot of people that I met in university, but these two, I used to view them as a mother, until I realized it's me. It was me. It was me all along. It was me who was actually having that personality. That's why they try to act like I don't exist. They try to act like my ignoring me as if like I'm not like I'm not there. It was just a strategy to make me feel believe that I'm nothing. You are nothing. That's how they work. You are nothing. There's no way I can allow you to rise, because your rise will be my downfall. But at that time, you're not even viewing life like that. You don't even have that perspective. It doesn't even cross your mind the fact that your wins is a downfall to other people. Even if it's your time, you like, yeah, like you celebrate them. It would be and they ended up being so surprised by you. But I've noticed that whenever I'm celebrating people, especially those people in the past, they were surprised how supportive I was. It triggered them, because they were doing the opposite behind my back. They were doing shit things behind my back. They were ruining my name. They were ruining my character. They were doing all that shit, that is sneaky shit that they were doing, because it's easy for them. When I'm doing that, it triggered them. I think it gave them the sense of shame, but at the same time, because they were like that, they never like, is it redemption? They never allow themselves to humble. They didn't allow themselves to be humble. They didn't allow themselves to change. Instead, they went far as much until I don't know when. For some of them, they don't stop. They constantly checking up on you. Um, okay, I mentioned that the Bollywood movie. It's a London String. It's a band where they call it London Strings, whereby they move from India to London. They form a band which is called London Strings, whereby Manu and Ajuni form a band with other members. So yeah, like, okay. I also had a dream where, like, my ex-friend, God, like, I told God that stop showing me what these motherfuckers are going through, because it pains me. Like, I don't like the fact that it pains me. But I realized why he's doing this. Like, obviously he stopped, like, because he realized I don't fuck with people. Like, I'm in my isolation. Not that I won't fuck with people, but I understand that I need this break from people. And when I like, I used to get like people who were like, "Do you know who like what this and that?" Now you're like, okay, I see that people can't reach you anymore because you trade boundaries. You don't want gossip. You don't want anything. But at the same time, I'm just still gonna deliver this thing from you to you. This is what is actually happening from this person, and you'll be like, "Why? But God, why you showing me this?" And then, like, it kept on showing me dreams about this person, like from last day, to like last year or this early this year. I'm not sure, early this year. But recently, like yesterday, I dream like 2 days ago, I dream of her again. Like, I keep on dreaming her or dreaming of her. She's doing like sneaky things or whatsoever. The thing is, they were trying to sabotage you all along. They were trying to sabotage. It's just that I didn't see what was happening behind the scene. It was just a gut feeling. Oh, these people are not good for me. It was a gut. I didn't know what are they planning behind my back. That's why I was their karma. I was their karma for them to do better, but they didn't do better. Instead, they wanted me out. They wanted me out in order for them to take a mother's role, in order for them to have your position. They don't understand your position for you to be the chosen one. It's one of a hell. They think being a chosen is always nice. No, it's hell. It's held on head on earth. The good thing about it, it's a relationship you have with God, And the good thing about it is just that you can be happy without anything. You don't need a lot of things. You just a normally what do you call it, a minimalist. You just enjoy a little things. You find joy in every little thing. You the how you handle your struggling. It's a way you handle things whatsoever. You know, you like people assume like, oh, it's just walking. No, it's not walking a park. It's just people assume just being a chosen. Just like who like you go through training. You go through training. You go through challenges. They're actually training you to be ready for whatever that you receive. That's why your success when you are actually chosen is surprise a lot of people because wow, hey, like there's no way, you know. So this friend, I dream of her. She'd break up with her man that she was dating from 2013 up, because I met her, she was already in the relationship with that guy. I met her in 2016, so I don't know how long. I'm not gonna count that, but they broke up this early this year, or I don't know whether December last year, because I don't remember exactly the date, but I'm just gonna act like it happened like early this year because I don't remember the timing. So obvious when it showed up, I was like, what, why are you trying to look? It showed me up slowly and slowly, and then it was like in a dream, like the recent one. She was cooking, and as she was cooking, she was telling me that she broke up with her partner, blah 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 blah. And then I was like, Mina, then why don't you do witchcraft on him to come back? Think about it, me giving her that advice, and then when I wake up, I was like, God, why would I give someone such a shitty advice? Because I don't believe people should get things through witchcraft. I believe that you can use witchcraft to protect yourself from a lot of things, but not to you harming other people. Because why would you want to have a dead person who's emotionally dead, who's mentally dead, who's spiritually dead to you, who's just there physically? It's more like you are cursing yourself. Because, like, dragging someone to be in love with you with witchcraft, it's like you saying, I want to have this dead person next to me. You are asking a dead person to look to have feelings for you while they're not even there. So I asked God, why would like I wake up and I was so surprised, like me giving people that shit advice. And I had like I remember what happened in 2018. I had a group work with these girls. These were my ex friends, and they used to have issue with my perspective. They used to have issue with my philosophy. They're always trying to make, when I'm looking back, they were sabotaging me. They were sabotaging me all along. God was trying to show me that how much how much these people were trying to take you out, how much they were trying to ruin you, how much they're trying to ruin your character, how much they were doing so. In that dream, I'm telling you that you should have used witchcraft. She was cooking, it was like I was in the kitchen, accompanying her. She was doing all the things. I was just sitting, looking at her and talking to her while listening, and also giving that shit advice. And I was like, why? And I remember, like, we had a group assignment in 2018. It was my last day in university. So she said to me, they were arguing, like we were talking. I was like, oh, there's no way. I don't know how the topic came about, where I was like saying like, wait, I don't know. I don't remember like how the topic went about. So it was like I was telling them there's no way I can make a man love me when they don't love me anymore. There's no way I can go to a witch doctor and try to make someone love me. I don't have that in me. I don't want to do something that is actually like that. It's not in me. I don't believe that I had to make people to love me through witchcraft. I don't have to do spell work, love potion to someone in order for them to come back. I don't believe in that. She was the first one to attack me that perspective of no. So what are you gonna do? Are you telling me that you're gonna change men like a socks? You're gonna change men like a sock? I'm like, wait. If God want me to change men, I will change them. Because eventually, most of the men that I dated, they only gave me dick. It was a dick. The only thing that they should have said, my ex, like I'm sure they would have said that one day if I continue with those people. They were like, why don't you sell your pussy so that you can eat? That how I entertain. That how like I used to entertain. Like I used to entertain like the shittest people in my life. So she said that. Like she said, "Oh, so are you telling me that you're gonna change me like a socks or whatsoever?" I'm like, so it's, I was like, so are you telling me that I have supposed to use love potion for the rest of my life, trying to make a nigga to have feelings for me? Where, how will I know that eventually this love potion will go away, and when it go away, what I'm gonna do? Why should I prolong my healing? Why should I prolong my healing by trying to make someone stay? what what if one day I wake up, I don't love this person, and how will that will make me feel? How will it make me feel that I will have to sleep with someone next to me, knowing that person is not in me? Because the thing is, with people who have love potion, who are done love potion, I've noticed that men and as well as women who actually have put on a spell, they're unhappy. Not only that, they are angry, they have a rage. The love spell create a rage in them. They end up people, a lot of rage. The thing with love potion, yes, you can create a love potion trying to have this person in your life, but you are creating a monster next to you. I've noticed that a lot of men, especially men, I'm talking about men because I've noticed like a lot of women who did witchcraft on men, most of them they end up being beaten by those men. There is actually deeper why men are actually domestic violent. I'm not saying all of them. Don't get me wrong. I've noticed a lot of men who are being witchcraft, they tend to have a rage, hate, they ended up being violent with their partner because why? It trade rage. Like they don't have control in their life anymore because you're trying to control them. You're trying to do everything, like you're trying to make them as I don't know, like trying to make them to be a yes ma'am, yes ma'am, yes ma'am kind of guy. You are not allowing them to be their authentic self, so obviously they're gonna be more, you're creating a monster next to you. So I had that perspective. Oh, the way, like I think it took like 2 hours having like debate around it, and then the fact that I had to dream that I was actually advising there, I was like, why are you not doing that? You know what what her answer was? She said, I don't like, she said what I said back in 2018, and I was like, I woke up. I woke up after hearing her saying exactly the philosophy that I share, and she tried to make me feel like I'm crazy for having that kind of perspective. She tried to make me feel like what I'm saying is crazy. She tried to make, like, she was not the only one. There were plenty of them. It's just that I had to be shown this one was also like a villain, like a huge villain. Why? She was giving me that advice to ruin my life. They didn't want me to meet my partner that God created for me, or partner that is actually good for me. They didn't want me to move on. They wanted me to be stuck in toxic relationship. They didn't want me. I guess they knew that I was not for them. I guess they knew in their gut feeling that I'm different from them. So the only way they have to have control toward me is to not allow me to be break free from the toxic cycle that I was in. So I was their karma. So everything that they were trying to sabotage me with, it's something that backfire on them. Was now what they had to live with, the fact that they were trying to sabotage me, and then everything with them is falling apart. Because that girl, she had that partner. She already told herself that the person was gonna be um like a partner for herself for a lifetime. Obviously, when we having a for your first boyfriend, you think like that. But God had other plans. So when I broke up with the person that I actually like thought so myself, they were in my business. The funny thing, when I was actually around them, I had like two ex-boyfriends, and they saw me going through it. They saw me going through all the pain whatsoever, and none of them ever offer kindness. Instead, I was someone that they mock. I was a laughing stock towards them. They try to make my pain like it's less. It's not so much. I think that's why God is trying by all means to show me that these people, I got them with balls. Why? You don't know what they were planning behind your back. Because yes, I didn't want to see the bad in them. I want to see the good in them. But it was like you don't know what exactly these people were planning on you. That's why you get irritated by the fact that God is still showing you these motherfuckers what they're up to in your life. He will never stop showing you what this motherfucker will in your life, because why? You were their karma. What they've done to you, it's something that is gonna come back to them. It's gonna bite them. The advice that they gave you, it's the same advice that will make them break up with those people that they wanted so badly to be around. The shit things that they've done to you, it's the same thing that will make them realize, wow, I did this person like that. But obviously, not all of them will realize you were their karma, but you were their karma. What they did to you is coming and is biting